Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Now, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you'll know that I play a lot of different decks. I try out a lot of new things and see what works in standard, trying to always find some hidden gems. But in my own free time, especially when I'm trying to get sweaty and climb the ladder, there are a few decks that I tend to gravitate back towards, those old reliable decks. And this Orzhov Skeleton has become one of those top reliable decks for me. So in today's video, I want to talk about this one. We're going to showcase it in some best of 3 gameplay because, well, I've been on a best of 3 kick lately, and we'll see how this one ends up working out in Diamond. But before that, of course, I have to ask for your support as I usually do. Please sub up if you haven't done so already. And my question, because comments really help this channel grow, what is a deck archetype or a deck color pairing that you tend to gravitate towards, that old reliable deck that you use as your crutch, especially when you're having a hard time on the ladder? So the Orzhov skeleton list, we're not going to talk too much about it because I think all of you know what's going on here. Optimistic Scavenger has great synergies with enchantments, and then we of course are playing the skeleton package: Forsaken Miner, Case of the Stashed Skeleton, and Corpses of the Lost. Then we have a whole bunch of other good enchantments: Seam Rift for removal, Shelter by Ghost for removal, Nowhere to Run for removal, and then a Most Helpful Weaver is a very powerful enchantment that gives us a creature. It pumps those creatures up and then eventually gives us a kill condition, win condition, giving things double strike, or at least one thing double strike on the 3rd chapter. All of this is of course enabled by the United Battlefront, which can go and find everything in the deck except the Optimistic Scavenger and the Forsaken Miner. In the lands, we have a couple Soulstone Sanctuaries because they are technically skeletons. Now over in the sideboard, because we are playing best of 3, and today I'm going to be focusing a lot on my sideboard choices in between games. Recently I put out a best of 3 video and some people commented on it saying, oh, I like seeing people sideboard, but sometimes they don't give their insight into the decisions that they're making. So I'm going to be trying my best when I am sideboarding to explain why I'm taking out a certain card or why I'm putting a certain card into the deck. We are playing Doorkeeper Thrall. This one is going to come in obviously to stop ETB triggers, especially against the artifact decks. The thing about this card lately is it good against the elemental decks? I don't know, because of course it turns off the elementals ETB triggers, and it of course turns off Sunderflock or whatever that silly card is called. Let's go find the flock. I can't remember what it's called. I'm gonna mess it up there. Oh, it is called Sunderflock. It turns off this thing, which is very powerful to be turning off. The problem with the Doorkeeper's Thrall is that it also turns off the elementals evoke. So when they evoke it out, it's gonna stay on the field, and that's not good. Of course, rest in peace to stop things from messing with the graveyard or to stop graveyard shenanigans. Aang's Iceberg, we're playing 3 copies of this because it's just a very good, reliable removal spell. It also works with our United Battlefront. And then, of course, Clarion Conqueror. This is the cute card that I have in the deck. Clarion Conqueror has become, of course, a favorite of many people's because it turns off all the Badger Mole Cub and Mana Dork shenanigans. We're going to try it out in the sideboard. I think in those matchups, it could be an interesting card to bring in instead of having maybe some Forsaken Miners in the deck. So that is the plan. We're going to try it out on the ladder and see if we can climb through Diamond. See you over there. All right, let's see what Orzhov Skeletons can do. We get to play first. Oh man, look at that beautiful hand. So one thing I'm going to be trying to do is be a little bit better about my come on, about my mulligans. Magic. Don't you guys love this? Isn't this such a fun game? Don't. Oh God. Oh, I hate it. Oh my God, this game. I was just gonna say I need to be better about mulliganing because when I do my editing, I notice, I keep a lot of risky hands, and you know what? I definitely have a bit of a fear of mulliganing, and there it is. Go from a 5-lander to a 0 to a 0 to a pretty good hand. That last hand that I had was all right. And we are, of course, against interaction with the Dimir list here, so we're opening things up in the most wonderful of ways. But hey, look at this. We are winning this race. The opponent already down to 16. People might look at this and say, hey, what's the problem? You're going to be okay. So we run into a flash creature here. What is the flash creature? It's a Bitter Triumph. Okay. So we had to mulligan down to 4. We drew 2 more lands, and then we drew the United Battlefront. Is our deck going to strand us at 3 mana when we have the card that could potentially get us back in this? If we throw the United Battlefront out and it hits like a Most Helpful Weaver and Corpse of the Lost, we'll be in pretty good shape here. However, our deck decided Optimistic Scavenger was a better pull from the top. We are going to be in trouble here. The opponent hitting us with Kaido, surveilling, drawing extra cards, and I bet they have the counterspell for it. They don't? That's unbelievable. I did not expect that. I don't think I can throw away my Optimistic Scavenger. They turn off the corpse. I could attack in with the... I could attack in here. And if I attack in, they block with the Tishana, they could trade it, and then I get the Corpse of the Lost back. But I am hemorrhaging life. You know what? I'm going to do it. And the reason I'm going to do this is because the Optimistic Scavenger is such a vulnerable creature. I figure they probably have removal for it. They just decided not to do anything against it, though. So that's a thing. And we're fighting the good fight. The only reason I'm staying in this game right now is because I have a hope of drawing a 4th land. Without a 4th land here, there's absolutely nothing that can happen. But hey, I have some hope. Spell Snare, okay, that's fine. Yeah, of course they pitch it into the bin. Really? We're really not going to draw anything? Okay, Simrip it is. We get to get rid of maybe the Spyglass Siren. Ooh, look at that. You know what? Hey, the deck is actually doing something. Oh, we got the commit there. I forgot about our boy in the graveyard. We don't have a whole lot of committing crime things. They tap down the poor skeleton, but we still go at Kaido. They can give us the Drowner here, sure. And we are going to get hit for lethal damage. No, they're 1 short. Okay. So, I don't know. I mean, this is such a... Can you believe the deck did not give me the 4th land? How absolutely insulting is it for the deck's just spitting in my face today? All right, now we can't attack in. We're actually dead. They have the Restless Reef. They have the Enduring Curiosity. No. Okay. Surely our deck will be a little bit nicer on the next one. Now, Clarion Conqueror does turn off Kaido. Okay, I think, you know what? We're going to try the Clarion Conqueror in this matchup. We're going to take out the Forsaken Miners. Forsaken Miners, I feel like, are just going to be stranded on the ground. They're not going to really do much. They don't have menace or anything, and the opponent is going to have plenty of ground blockers. I don't want to put too many creatures in the deck with the United Battlefront still, and the Clarion Conqueror, I think, is pretty questionable here, but I want to try it out. It does turn off their artifacts as well from the Spyglass Siren. So there are some things here that I think could be good from the Conqueror. And then we'll see if we can actually just draw a playable hand. Imagine that. A playable opening hand is all I'm asking for. It's not my birthday or anything, but surely the game won't just betray me. It's not playable. It's not playable. 5 lands again. Okay. Gotta throw away 2 cards, right? It's so bad, right? I think Shelter by Ghost is probably not going to work out in this matchup. So we'll try this 5. Wow, imagine that. A 4-lander and a 4-card hand and a 5-card hand. Oh, Okay, Corpse of the Lost, get it on the field. The opponent going to hit us with this Cecil. We do have a good card against Cecil, so there's at least that. We can remove it before they are able to ninjutsu in their boy. We do hit that, though. So I think it's okay to go out with the Conqueror. We're going to try the Conqueror. They don't have the mana to kill it with a Bitter Triumph this turn. And maybe the Clarion Conqueror is kind of good to have on the field. We'll see. I'm not too hot about Shelter by Ghost against this opponent because they have so much spot removal. However, if they're struggling on lands, they spend a lot of time here trying to remove something. Maybe the Ward 2 could give us enough protection. The thing is, usually this deck, this deck has more than enough mana. They're down to 14. They did keep open mana. So let's just attack in. Okay. And I think the plan here is nowhere to run. If they use their mana, sure. So let's get rid of Cecil so it doesn't flip into something really nasty. And their Tishana's Tidebinder is not really too threatening, although they can Kaido. They could Kaido it in still. They can ninjutsu. This doesn't stop ninjutsu as far as I know. Maybe we'll find out. We're going to find out. Yeah, they can still ninjutsu. But the thing is, they can't activate any of the abilities. And if they end up... Oh, well, all the boys, they throw in the towel against the Conqueror. It's just too tilting, I guess. So, mull to 5, and we still took a win there. Okay. Let's just run it back. We'll run it back. You know what would be nice? A keepable 7 card hand. Please? Please. I don't want to look at it. Oh, man. How? 3 games in a row, the opening hand is just not keepable. Okay. I don't like throwing away the Corpse of the Lost, but I think that's the throwaway that we have to make here. Man, Corpses is such a good card, but you need a little bit of removal, and the Conqueror could trip them up a little bit again. They're going to have removal for it, but hey, Dimir list with removal, it's going to be a thing. There's the Cecil. Cecil, dang, should have thrown away the Conqueror, right? Cecil going to do a little bit of damage to them. We have the Nowhere to Run. Fantastic card against them. But they do have Spell Snare in the deck. So I'm not super confident in just throwing this Nowhere to Run onto the field. We have our United Battlefront. If we end up finding the 4th land, that could be fantastic. I hope they give us an opening here. No. So they just keep knocking us down. Okay. I can't do it. So let's put a Conqueror onto the field. If they end up having... Spell Snare doesn't work, obviously. They could have the Bitter Triumph here. No Bitter Triumph. And the Cecil, we're going to have to get rid of it next turn. I think once they flip the Cecil, we are in huge trouble. We just can't remove it from the field. Once it gets up to 4 toughness, it's not going anywhere. I could block it. Is that crazy? You know what? I think I'm okay blocking here. They did a ton of damage to themselves. And they just play a straight Kaido. Okay. Looks like I gotta fight now we have to gamble. Now we gamble. The deck has betrayed us so much. Surely it's time for the deck. But I could just go out with the Clarion Conqueror. Let's roll it. It's bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Why has the deck betrayed me today? Okay, Kaido on the field. Do they have the removal? They have the Requiting Hex. Okay. It wasn't the worst United Battlefront I've ever had, but it's in the lower D level. Man, when the Nowhere to Run hits and you could have used it to hit a... That's fine. They have to take the other Nowhere to Run. They're not going to take the Clarion. A land off the top would be good. I think. Yeah. So we don't find a land, but we do find the Optimistic Scavenger, which is fine. So maybe we run out the Clarion plus the Optimistic Scavenger. They don't have any more interaction for us. And we do solve the case. So I could go get another United Battlefront and roll the dice one more time. Then again, I could just go get removal for the Deep Cavern Bat. I don't care too much about that. Sure. Attack me for 3. We're down to 10. So they've now made up the life loss advantage that we had. Seamrip's okay. I still kind of put them on a... I really feel that they have a spell snare. They have the Tishanas. Okay. Turning off the Corpse of the Lost. It hurts. It hurts. But we can remove the Deep Cavern Bat. Sure, kind of wish I had that Optimistic Scavenger on the field now. And I think I kind of have to hit the Kaido, even though the Kaido... Oh, man, it's just going to keep hitting me down so hard. They're going to hit me for lethal damage. They had the land. All right, opponent, GG. I think this was a showcasing of how a deck can just not function. I don't know. There were maybe some questionable choices in the last turn. Maybe it should have been these two instead of... I don't know. You can't control the cards you draw, but you can control how you react to them. Stay cool and have fun. Y'all watched that last game. And for MTG Arena to give me such horrific draws, 3 games in a row, and then being like, bruh, just be cool. Stay cool. It really makes you wonder if you were destined to lose that game. Doesn't it feel like that a little bit? Hey, don't worry about those draws. You couldn't control not having any lands. I love you, Magic. You're such a fun game. They take the United Battlefront with their deceit, but I think I'm okay with it. Hey, you know what? So maybe something flipped. Maybe my conspiracy theory hat about your deck being picked to lose, it has some validity sometimes. Because this hand's looking okay. Ooh, do they have the way of reviving the deceit? No, okay. They don't keep it alive, thank goodness. Well, we were drawing well. They picked apart 2 very good cards, which sucks, but we do get to hit them for 9 on this turn 3. I don't know what the opponent's up to. Okay. I don't know. This game. Okay. Do we bring in the Doorkeeper Thrall? It's such a questionable card, but the opponent is definitely like leaning into the elementals. I don't know if it's good against... Let's try it. Let's try it. I don't know if it's good against the elementals, though. We're going to remove a couple of the Forsaken Miners. We're going to remove a couple of the Nowhere to Runs. I don't want to dilute my deck too much with the United Battlefront again. We have to be a little bit careful. But I think Nowhere to Run is going to get very little value. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to bring in a couple of Aang's Icebergs because I think basically Nowhere to Run doesn't have any good targets. We are still running the Seam Rips, though. The Seam Rips maybe should have come out, too. Okay. I know I didn't really explain that like I said I was going to explain it, but it's fine. Doorkeeper Thrall, I'm experimenting with it. I'm trying it out to see if it is actually good against the Elementals decks. And my suspicion is maybe it would have been good there to flash it in against the opponent putting a... It doesn't matter. We're drawing tons of lands. Putting that Quantum Riddler onto the field to draw a card. If they do that again, maybe we can get them with a cheeky Doorkeeper Thrall. Okay. They don't have anything. So do I just put the Doorkeeper Thrall onto the field, make them use some of the removal? Sure. They have something. I don't know if they want to remove the Doorkeeper Thrall. It all depends, I think, on player experience. They might look at the Doorkeeper Thrall and say, thank you, opponent. Oh, Doomsday Executioner. So, in fact, I think our Doorkeeper Thrall is going to be good in this matchup, because if they end up putting that on the field, they do their little combo thing. I didn't consider that this was going to be the Doomsday combo. Dang. So because I didn't have enough experience against this, I was just putting them on like a regular blue deck or a Dimir deck. I didn't really think that they might be doing this kind of stuff. And now the case is going to be pretty bad. This United Battlefront, we actually could figure out what is in. Can we? No, these are all exile face down. Ouch. And now they have the Quantum Riddler. Wow, look at the lands. Look at the lands. Do we want to look at those 4 cards? We could just go and look at them and see what they are. Yeah, let's go for it. It's a Shelter by Ghost and a Seam Rip. I shouldn't have taken the Seam Rip out. That was a mistake, because I needed one more card in my deck. In this matchup, we're not going to win. No, I needed to leave. I needed to only take the Shelter by Ghost. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. Stock up. The opponent. Okay. They're taking 2 cards, so they're down to 1 card in hand. Are they going to make us draw? That could definitely be a thing. I know this deck does make people draw. What a silly game this has turned into. Now, we do have the Ang's Iceberg. I don't know. This... I don't know what's happening. It doesn't make any sense at all. I'm kind of left like a little bit speechless here. Next one. Have any of you played the Doomsday deck, and have you had similar experiences to what my poor opponent just went through, or have your experiences been a little bit more positive? This hand's not great, but we do have some interaction. We do have some early stuff, and if we draw into just like one good card, we could be really rolling. I think I'm going to go out with the Forsaken Miner to lead things off. We're against a mono-red opponent. So if they end up potentially mono-red, if they end up blasting our Forsaken Miner, it's possible that it goes in the graveyard. We can bring it back with the commit. No, we are against dragons. So what do they got? They got that coming down the pipeline. We do have... So I've played the Dragons deck quite a bit lately. I don't hate the idea of using Shelter by Ghost to take the treasure here, because what that's going to do is that it's going to put them off 1 turn. The thing is, my Forsaken Miner is a really bad card to put the Shelter by Ghost onto, so maybe I don't want to do that. Like, I'm actually in a really bad position here. The only hope is that they don't draw another land. I could use a Shelter by Ghost to hit the Sarkhan too. I'm sorry, opponent. Oh man, it's all bad. All right, I don't know what to do here. So I'm going to go Optimistic Scavenger. I guess I swing. I should have swung in before putting out the Optimistic Scavenger, but I don't think they block with the Dragon Ascendant. And if they end up having land into Hellkite, we're going to be set back quite a bit. I find this deck... I've been enjoying the Dragon deck. In fact, I'm going to be definitely recording a video on Dragons relatively soon. But I've been having some rough draws. I've been having rough draws lately. It's been a thing. They do have the land though, so that means next turn we are going to go out probably with the Shelter by Ghost. They attack us, sure, with the Sarkhan. I don't know why they wouldn't put out the Nova or the Hellkite. Okay, now I'm just confused as to why they would do this line. Okay, we'll put the Bleach Bone out. What could they have? They might have a way of sniping the Optimistic Scavenger. I think while we have the chance to put the Corpse of the Lost down, do it. They are playing blue. They are playing blue. And blue means counter magic. Okay. I guess possibly they just didn't want to waste their treasure there for some reason. But here they go, using the treasure. So position's okay. We got set back a little bit on our mana, but we're not losing mana. I guess we'll grab the plains. It doesn't really matter. And we can at least use the Shelter by Ghost to remove the Magmatic Hellkite. I suppose I put it on the Optimistic Scavenger because the Optimistic Scavenger can at least... Well, I mean, anything can grow. I don't know. Maybe it was actually the Forsaken Miner. Make it... the Optimistic Scavenger is very good to have on the field. Maybe I wanted to entice them to go after the Forsaken Miner. But I don't know how much spot removal they have. They definitely have Lightning Helix. No, they don't have Lightning Helix because they're playing a blue variation of it. Main board Fire Magic. Today is just like one of those days. That is unbelievable. Somebody, like this person out here hunting decks like mine, and we're toast now. I can do this, but this is not good. I feel like I have to do it. Oh, yeah, that's fine. We can get it back next turn potentially with the Nowhere to Run, maybe. Wow, Fire Magic. It's good. It's a good card. I have it in the sideboard in the deck that I'm playing, but having it in the main board, brutal. And they have, you know what? So this opponent, I'm not sitting through this one. They had every answer that they could possibly want. Okay, against this type of deck, do you put in the Doorkeeper Thrall again? They have cards that are entering and doing plenty of ETB stuff, but it's such a vulnerable card. I still think we probably bring it in. And from here, I think the Seam Rips have pretty low value. I think the Forsaken Miner also probably has pretty low value because it's just not going to be able to get in or have any impact. So we'll take out both of those cards. But boy, oh boy, today, I woke up. I think I mentioned it at one point. I've been having some rough times playing Magic the last like 3 days. I cannot get anything going. It really does feel like everybody has everything in the main board. And that's one of the reasons why I switched to best of 3, because I feel like it's a little bit less slot machine-esque. But as we've been seeing, why? Why? Okay. Let's throw away one. I mean, it's fine. We only have one colored source of mana. We need to draw lands, of course. But at least we can run out the Most Helpful Weaver. Maybe I could have saved the Doorkeeper Thrall here to hit the Sarkhan. They don't have the Sarkhan. Interesting. All right, well, let's get in. Of missing the land here. Very bad. But maybe we can surprise them with this boy here. Do they not have anything? Yeah, I probably should have put out the Doorkeeper Thrall just to get it on the field. There's no way they don't have Lightning Strike or something for our... Wow. Wow. They just take it. Champions. Okay. What's their follow-up? Turn 4. What are they doing? Are they going for Magmatic Hellkite? There it is. So, unfortunately... This card is very good against us for blocking. But, so what do I do here? I think I put out the Forsaken Miner. And pray that I can at least pull off a good United Battlefront. This feels like such a bad position. Okay, there's the Tempest. So again, the Tempest is not going to do anything when it hits the field. We can still get rid of the Magmatic Hellkite. If they attacked in, we could block with something. That's not what we want to see. Okay. I don't know. What am I going to do against a 4/5 and a 5/5 with 1/2s and 2/2s? And they're going to have the Fire Magic. Here comes the Fire Magic blowout. And this whole day has been just too scuffed. Okay, they get 2 cards. Good cards. Do I block? Yes. I think I block here. I should have done this beforehand. Ooh, it lands. Okay. So maybe we can get rid of the Dragon Hawk at the very least. I'm doing this all wrong because now they just remove. I'm tilting out. I think I'm getting in my head again. This has been happening too much for me because I've been having like some bad running. Here comes the removal spell for the spider. And I should have let the combat damage resolve, then done the nowhere to run. It's just, I made a whoopsie. Okay. Okay. Interesting choice from the opponent. Does this trigger these ones? Interesting. This does not hit that, unfortunately. Okay, United Battlefront has to be very big. Let's go, baby. It's not bad. It's not bad. So what do I put that onto? On my Doorkeeper Thrall? It's not great. Okay. Now I could attack with some creature that could attack around. I don't think I can, though. Okay. Cowardly behavior over here. Pyroclasm. That's the way it's been going. They had Fire Magic and Pyroclasm. This has been just the worst running I've seen a Skeletons deck do in a long time. Nowhere to run. Useless for us. We drop another game. Ouch. Maybe Old Reliable here is actually not well positioned in the meta anymore. Or maybe the deck just can't function properly this morning because it doesn't want to function properly. Okay, we at least, the hand is not great, but at least if they're playing little creatures, we can really do some good damage to them. It's kind of looking like they're not playing little creatures. We'll see what is it means. All right, well, run it out. Hey, okay. So some good news. That worked. Next turn, we can go Corpse and Sea Rip. We can do that. Okay. So now we have to ask ourselves, what are they playing? Are they playing Lessons? Do we bring in Rest in Peace? We don't know. Okay, let's just run it back. The opponent didn't give me any information. I don't really want to change things up. We'll just see. Sitting here, the opponent took a little time to sideboard there. I'm sitting here thinking about what I should name this video. And, the name that comes to my mind is Games That Showcase the Worst Aspects of Magic the Gathering. And maybe, it seems like both sides of the field have just been not operating properly. Match 1, match 3, our deck not working. And now the opponent's deck clearly not working for them. I gotta get rid of that hard oh, by the way. Clearly not working for them. They are on Jeskai. So something different. Oh, okay. So it's not okay. It's not what I had originally expected. Definitely I'm going out this way. I don't know what to expect from the opponent. Let's see if they have some kind of interaction here. It seems like they definitely do. Forsaken Miner's okay. Okay, we're going to attack in, see if they respond to the attack of 3. They do. Another Get Lost. So are we rolling into an Ultima? It kind of feels like an Ultima, right? They're giving us a lot of map tokens, and maybe they're just going to wipe the board at some point. So here we are. The opponent has open mana. We can play out our Corpse of the Lost or the United Battlefront. Let's go this way. Forsaken Miner. I can't throw the Corpse of the Lost out right now. I know they have lots of stuff. Let's put it on. Sorry, I should be putting it on the Menace Skeleton, the Stash Skeleton. That way this will flip. Okie dokie. Well, we are, look at this, drawing lands, drawing all the cards we want. We definitely don't want to Nowhere to Run. So now maybe it's fine to just get in for 3 with a Menace creature. Boom, boom. We played our land for the turn. Opponent's down to 4 cards. They draw 2, of course, with the Consult the Star Charts. I felt like they were holding up a 3 steps ahead and just using the Consult as a backup there. That's 5 mana. They put it in untapped. What does it mean when an opponent puts in mana like that untapped? Please, please tell me. Here comes a case of the Stash Skeleton. And there's no reaction. Do they have a flash creature? Do they have a flash creature for 5 mana? Could this be an Aether? No, it's not going to be an Aetherize. Why would they put in the Hallowed Fountain untapped for an Aetherize? It's a Wang Shi Tong. Okay, so this is fine because actually it's very fine. Okay. Wang Shi Tong, soft to seam rip, it seems. So we snipe out the bird, and now our position's okay. We have 7 points of damage on the field. They need rest in peace. We saved our Forsaken Miner before the rest in peace hit, so we got lucky on that end. And we are up to 6 mana. So we have 3 excess mana to play out this Corpse of the Lost into a No More Lies. This gives me the win. If this resolves, it gives me the win. I think we kind of go for it. We try it out. Let's see, baby. Oh, it hits the field. So they could be still sitting on Get Lost or possibly Lightning Helix. Oh, there's the Get Lost, but they opt to use the Get Lost on our on the enchantment, which is fine. It's probably the right play here. I don't know where I should load up these map tokens. That's useless to me. Put it into exile. But spread out some of this potential damage. Most helpful weavers, it's action. Okay, I don't hate drawing that. We could have a hard time getting this last 5 points of damage in though if the opponent has a board wipe here. So we struggle, we win. We struggle, we win. We're going into one more game. Okay, Gondor is our final opponent, I think, for this video. I think I'm a little surprised that we got why we got 5 games in this video. It's okay. We draw a land. It's really good. I don't like throwing away the Shelter by Ghost here, but I think we're kind of leaning into the skeleton plan for this game. So we've been rude. We haven't been saying hello to our opponents. We should say hello. Hey. And we should be enticing our deck to give us love. And look at that. That was a little bit of love. That's what we want to see, was a swamp. A Great Divide Guide. So we go Corpse of the Lost every time here, right? We attack in for 9. If they want to block with the Great Divide Guide, that's fine. Next turn, we can go Shelter by Ghost into Forsaken Miner. Probably kill them next turn. I imagine they probably don't keep all these. Okay. Sometimes opponents do things that completely catch me off guard, and a deck playing Great Divide Guide with a Perilous Snare, that is up there for completely unexpected things. Now, they still have something. Oh no, they still have something. So what do? Do I take the risk here and use the Shelter by Ghost to take out the Great Divide Guide? Or do I just swing in and force them to trade off? I think I just do it this way, right? They definitely have something. If I go with the Shelter by Ghost, I think maybe they didn't have something. I don't know. Tricky. Okay, they're down to potentially just 4 mana. Ally. A South Pole Voyager's good. Okay, they don't have anything this time. It's fine. I'm not sure what that little delay was, but it got in my head. And maybe there was an opportunity for things to go real bad for me. I feel like Doorkeeper Thrall in this matchup is going to be pretty awesome. The Allies decks have a lot of ETBs, such as the South Pole Voyager. They're also playing Perilous Snare. We can stop the artifact from ETBing. That's going to be pretty great. But taking things out, I think the easy things to take out are the Forsaken Miner. Although good, I think it's probably not going to get a lot of value. And I'm going to trim a couple of the Optimistic Scavengers. Cards that are on the ground. we're bringing in creatures. I think I take out creatures a lot of the time is probably what I want to be doing with this deck. Okay, we're against a very unique allies deck at the very least. This is actually the second time I've seen somebody using Great Divide Guide in a uniquer looking deck. Opening hand looks playable. Looks playable. Let's put out the Godless Shrine just to save a little bit of life in the future. Concealed Courtyard to come in. We'll remove the Great Divide Guide. It cannot sit on the field, and why not another Godless Shrine? No more lands, please, deck. We need you to cooperate. Okay, cooperate you are. Most Helpful Weaver is going to be pretty good on the field, and they don't seem to have anything. What is the opponent on? A South Pole Voyager, is that all you got? No, Earth King's Lieutenant. So, I can... It's risky, but I can remove both of them. And I think it's probably fine to do it this way. Now, do I remove the Earth King Lieutenant with the Nowhere to Run or the South Pole Voyager? I'm a little bit more scared of the Earth King Lieutenant coming back than I am of the South Pole Voyager coming back. So I think we'll go this way. Now, I don't like putting Shelter by Ghost on the Spider, especially when we're not putting +1/+1 counters on it, because it's not a great creature to have on the field. Whoa! Ouch. That's a blowout. For them to have the 5th mana to blank our poor Spider, we don't get the trigger on that. Absolute nuking from the opponent. Aang proving that he is, in fact, the Avatar. And fun thing, last night, I think it was last night, I finished watching Season 3 of Avatar. Show's good. Show's real good. Hello. Hello. Okay. So the opponent doing the most unexpected things, and our deck is not really putting out what we want to see. I'm not giving up hope just yet. I think what I need to do is not attack in with the skeleton here and use it as a blocker so I can use the Case of the Stash Skeleton. That's probably on me, but yeah, I'm not really sure we're bouncing back from this one. What would we really need? We needed you a long time ago. Okay, well, it is double striking. So if they want to put Aang in front of it, oh, Aang just murders it, right? Oh, okay, we get a gift. Aang freaks out. Of course, Aang freaks out. He's losing it. And we have our Doorkeeper Thrall. So we do have the corp case over here, not Corpse of the Lost. We can do something, but I think oh, this is on cast. All right. Chronicle of Victory. I would never expect that. Does that mean I need to bring in also Aang's Icebergs and just have go full control? I'm kind of terrified of what the opponent's doing. And maybe that's the play we got to go with. Aang's Iceberg. We get rid of a few more creatures. I don't think they're going to be overly relevant. Okay, we're going to trim just a little bit more. We're going to bring in the full 3 Aang's Icebergs. I cannot let this thing sit on the field. If this thing's on the field, I think we're just in trouble. And Aang's Iceberg is going to be pretty good for removing various creatures that they have out there. But we don't have any sweepers for them. It's going to... We got ourselves a real game here. Play first and opening hand. You know what? It's okay. I think it's actually playable. We get our one of 2 Optimistic Scavengers that are still in the deck. Nowhere to Run and Doorkeeper Thrall are going to be pretty good cards. We need the 3rd land desperately. Okay, let's see what their follow-up is. If it is... No. So let's put out the Doorkeeper Thrall. It's fine. Take a damage. And we miss on the lands, though. Oh, deck, please don't do this to me. A land there would have been absolutely massive for the Corpse of the Lost. It's a Katara. Fine. Let's just use the Nowhere to Run while we have it. We get to put a +1/+1 counter on the Doorkeeper Thrall. pump up our boy in the sky. And I think this is actually pretty good for us. Again, we pump up our boy. We attack in for 7. If we find a land, we can go United Battlefront. If we just need to remove something like an Ouroboride, we can absolutely do that. Oh no. Oh no. So what do? Do I take the gamble? 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 damage. Oh, this could be lethal. Let's go for it. Whoa! Whoa! We hit a whole bevy of things to play. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I think actually I don't get lethal here though. I think maybe I needed to take the Sheltered by Ghost, right? Good game from the opponent. Our deck finally did something at the end. I'm so happy. Finally, we're churning out some wins. All right, so Orzhov Skeletons giving mixed results here, but I think this was just a collection of really unusual games. The running was just so weird on both sides of the field. You could even tell that the opponents in a lot of these games were also struggling with a lot of stuff. I don't know. We had tons of mulligans, more mulligans in this set of 5 games than I think I've had in the longest time. It's so weird. Sometimes it just goes that way. In fact, my MTGA experience over the last like 3 or 4 days has just been kicking me in the face. It's been bad. But we ended up going 3-2 in the end. We lost game 1 against our mulligans. We were going down to 4 and 5 cards consistently. And then we lost game 3 against the Dragons deck. I think it was the Dragons deck that had main board fire magic, which just absolutely wrecked us. So when you run into pyroclasms and main board fire magic, what are you going to really do when you're playing a bunch of 2-1s and 3-2s or whatever they are? It's pretty bad. I also don't know how this deck is going to do against the elementals decks, because we have a big, that deck is so strong right now. It's so popular. And the Doorkeeper Thrall, I think, although great in some matchups, I really love the Doorkeeper Thrall. I kind of want to keep jamming it into a lot of decks, but I feel like it's only helping the elementals decks more than hurting them. So I don't really know what I should do with this card, if it's worth putting in the deck or not worth putting in the deck. So yeah, this deck is cool. I think a lot of people play it in best of 1, but I want to try out in best of 3. We get an awesome white sideboard over here. Unfortunately, Rest in Peace didn't really show up in any of these matchups because we didn't run into Lessons or Kuvaro or anybody else doing graveyard shenanigans, but it is a very, very powerful card to have at our disposal. Still, I love what the deck's doing. More importantly, I just have fun playing this deck. I don't know what it is, unless the deck doesn't function and draws us a whole bunch of lands or no lands, but that's besides the point. No deck's going to be fun in that case. But I do have a ton of fun playing Orzhov Skeletons. I think it is just one of those really neat, honest, cool decks. That's it for this one. Let me know what you think about these draws, about these games. Was this just a showcase of misery and weirdness, like I believe it was? Or is this a normal MTGA experience for most of you? Would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, of course, as always. And I really appreciate you guys sticking around, watching to the end of the video. If you are still here, sub up if you haven't done so already. We're climbing up to 2,000. Like the video, it helps a lot. And of course, have yourself a great day. Saranga Ipana. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.